Tonight is actually part 2. It's the second part of our series on behavior management. Specifically, it's focusing tonight on finding those positive behaviors that make our lives as parents just a little bit easier, and encouraging those, so that we don't turn into we're just not nagging about the good stuff, and that's hard. It's hard. I'm tired sometimes. But Ms. Court Wallace is going to be talking with you about ways of encouraging those positive behaviors to become independent in those behaviors. At the end of the night, I'm going to pick up your evaluation from you, and I do ask that you are blatantly honest on those because we can't get better if we don't know. Okay? And also, tonight, on your way out, the back table where dinner was served and the table beside it it's going to be filled with meal kits for you to take home. These meal kits were prepared by a group here at First United Methodist. It's an entire dinner ready to go in one bag. You got your vegetables, your meat will be in there, everything. Okay? And then we have some other frozen meals that were donated that you are welcome. We have bags and all that. You do a little grocery shopping. Get yourself set for the week. All right? When I found out about it, that it was offered tonight, I was like, well, yes, I want to share that with them. So don't run out too fast. Don't leave your children behind. No. we will feed them coffee and give them puppies.
Oh, go wash your windows.
But I'm still going to give them coffee and puppies. Then you're going to deal with that when they get home. So we want to make sure you take home the right children and take home your children. And then make sure you grab all those goodies on the way out. Okay? Because they're there for us. So we might as well use them. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Court Wallace, and she is going to impart some wisdom on you. Right? Have a good time.
Yay. Hello, good evening. My and I've been in Prince George's County Public Schools for 30 years. My first marriage was hyphenated. I had the name Sutton. My daughters are both Suttons. I was widowed in 2013, and I remarried in 2015. So when I say that I really enjoy doing this behavior workshop with you, it's to share my experiences as a working mother, as a widow, as someone that's remarried, as a counselor, and an educator who's been in Prince George's County for 30 years. So I hope that some of the things that I will talk to you about today will help to support you and your children and their whole exploration of their educational career. So anyone that was with me for our virtual, we talked about how our horoscopes were going to help us with our focus for 2022. So I said, make sure I get something again with horoscopes since when we came back, even though we're in person. So I had some things about Valentine. And how did your Valentine yesterday go? And did it match some of your zodiac signs? There was, I think I had to go this way. Yes. Not working. All right, so I'll go with what I have. I've got Aries. Any Aries like perfume? One Aries? Okay. Taurus. A plant. Any Taurus has got? That would be a good gift for you. But would it be a good? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going with the bit here. I need the glasses. Show my age. Pisces. Love letter. Oh, look, she's blushing.
Photo
Like,
frame?
Yeah, would you like
A picture frame.
to put a picture in?
A picture.
Would that be a good gift for you?
Yeah,
Okay, that's it. I can't make this stuff up. All right. Heart necklace for Libra. Any jewelry for Libras? No?
I'll take
okay. Aquarius. Candle. Scented candle. What flavor? What's that?
Usually the strawberries.
Strawberry? Okay, she goes with the fruity scent. Okay. I got Virgo. Rose quartz.
Heck
Jewelry.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Let's go, girl.
Okay. Leo. A mug. Do you drink coffee?
You have to.
Okay. Starbucks. Scorpio. Bouquet of roses.
Oh, my kids will love that.
That's okay? Okay. Sagittarius. Chocolate covered.
Oh, yeah, my other one would like that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I got both of them.
All right. I'm not going to lie. This says Capricorn. Cozy socks. Not in the least. I want something more than that. But that's just me. All right. So, for those of you who are with me on our virtual session, we talked about stop behaviors, things we wanted to stop, we don't want to reoccur. So this session, we're going to talk about things we want to start and how we're going to start helping our children to do what we need them to do safely, right? So that they're able to progress. All right, so I said I had to wake you up, because especially now you've had something to eat. I know you're a little sleepy.
What you
So
trying to
let's
say?
see. Let me see, Ms. Kibos, if none of my videos work. What is that about?
What?
They all worked for me before.
It knows it's dinner time. It wants to go eat.
And then it's going to sleep too? I don't know
Yep.
why.
Is it in presentation mode?
I took it out of it because it wasn't working. Let's see. Yeah, it could not. So let's escape. So then when in Chrome, you just cheat and you go to YouTube. Oh, that's why. No connection. Okay, I'll keep rolling. And then where is Danielle? She has to get me connected. I don't know, why can't I use my own hotspot? Let me see. I'm here. All right, we'll keep going. I don't know what happened.
Check your Wi-Fi setting.
It says no. Doesn't like me.
Down on the bottom right.
Oh, you walk maybe down.
Huh?
You walk. The wireless access.
You know you're talking French right now, right? I told you I've been in the county 30 years. You can't give me too much.
Yeah, your
Says
wireless
I'm not
access maybe down.
Oh, okay. Oh, but you have to work on it? Okay. Let me see what I'm supposed to talk about next. Oh, the book. Okay. Okay, so. Okay, so everyone, can you raise your hand if you got a book? What's now? All right. Can you not raise your hand if you didn't read it all? But it's a good reference to have. The big thing about Magic 1, 2, 3 is it's trying to give you a way of communicating with your kids without having to yell and repeat yourself. That's the big thing, right? And that we find that we do that a lot, right? So one of the things through this presentation is to try to give you some other resources and ways to communicate, right? So when, oh gosh, what is it? That's what you said, my little thing.
It's not the top.
You know, where my face is, right?
No, there's the wireless bar. Down on the bottom right is usually a wireless button. No, it's the max, so it's at the top.
You go over there.
Maybe they can
rainbow, right?
Yeah.
Are you connected to the middle?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, if you can connect.
It's on the top.
I got you.
I can put it to the phone too. I was just gonna say- See, I knew that part. All right, so, when I first did this presentation, I don't know, what, 15 maybe years ago, as we've evolved, we tried to keep focused to something. Oh, it has a thing? Okay. So, can it work?
It's not letting me.
Is it because it's a school one?
I don't know. It's possible. It's just not letting me.
Okay. But, so we tried to do the presentation to something that was in literature, so that was one of the reasons that everyone got the book, and if you haven't gotten it, we still have copies, right?
I think we still have a few.
We still have some copies.
All his free videos are on YouTube.
That's true. And so you don't have to read the book as well. Yeah, it worked now. Okay, well, I keep rolling. But I can't get any YouTube. Nope. And YouTube is my friend. And you asked me what, yeah, here. It said Chris's phone. Yeah, Chris's phone. What do I have to do? The house man school. I'm good now? Okay, all right, maybe the movie will come on. I don't know, I'm trying. It's still not talking to it, but you can go ahead. All right, so, would you rather? This is practicing for later this afternoon. So right now, you can just do your left or right hand. This afternoon, when we finish, I'll do a would you rather, and I want to do the left and right of the room because for my 30 years, I have a lot of stuff, and I need to give it away. So depending on your answers, I have giveaways. All right, first one. Would you rather go out or stay home? Go out or stay home? Which one? Okay. All right, next one. Would you rather a song written for you or a star named after you? A song or a star?
Star.
My PE teacher used to tell me about some song called Don't Walk Away, Renee.
Yeah.
I never knew it, but he used to tell me that. All right. Watch a romance or watch action?
Action.
Romance. Action.
For me, it's if I want my husband awake or asleep. All right. Would you rather slow dance or break dance? I already told you part of my age, so you already know. Okay. Oh, now this one I couldn't get with. Kiss a frog or a rat? Neither. I just will kiss. All right. Last one.
I'll take a rat.
Oh, I can't do either. Play your favorite love song forever or play a song you hate for 24 hours.
Play a song.
Hey, 24 hours.
Because the one that you like, if you have to do it forever, it'll become the one you hate, right?
Like Frozen, let it go. No.
Okay, so a start behavior is a job to be started that you want continued and completed. Having positive behavior is good, but it isn't useful if you don't have children willing to execute 1, 2, 3 magic. And we've all been at Walmart and heard somebody yell 1, 2. The issue with 1, 2, 3 magic is I'm not just counting and not giving a command, which is something that I'll clarify, right? And that because you're continuously using it, your child is going to know when you start to count, a command is coming. Does that make sense? All right, so we're definitely talking about establishing routines. And since I can't get the, we don't even do that now. I'll leave it alone. All right, start behaviors. What do you want your child to do that they're not doing already? Pick up a book and read. Go to bed on time.
Yeah.
See, my oldest is clockwork, 9 o'clock. Even when she tries, she's out. My youngest, I'm gonna have to get her from the club. All right, cleaning up the first time, getting up in the morning,
Yeah.
Alexa's
Being-
right.
being more responsible for personal belongings,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
more independent with self-care.
Yeah.
And mine said to me, I was horrified. Well, I mean, since we wear masks, nobody even knew I haven't brushed my teeth.
But she should know, like, that's some stuff to keep going with all day.
And I guess this is stereotypical, but I'm so shocked because usually the girls are not that way. But okay, and be respectful.
All the above.
Yeah, and you know what? With the respectful, that has even been taken out of the code of conduct. Because my respect and your respect will be two different things. And so it's hard to have a child written up for disrespecting a teacher because it might be allowed in room 2, but not in room 5. Yes, ma'am.
I think there are basic respect, maybe not for the them, okay, but there are some that can be really good.
I do agree with you. And then there's things that are cultural, right? I'm first generation. So if my dad said it's raining outside, even though it was 90 degrees and sunny, it was raining. Okay? What I learned going to school here in America was that if I didn't tell the teacher, no, it's not raining, she would think something was wrong with me. So, right. So I learned that I had to have two different ways of behaving. I had my behavior at home and I had my behavior at school. Because there are certain things in American society or school that was demanded of me. Right? Even here in America, I was born and raised in New York. When I came to school in Pennsylvania, I went to Lincoln, HBCU. And I would walk down the path and people go, hey, how are you? And I would look, because I didn't know them. I never met before in my life. In New York, you speak to who you know. Past the Mason-Dixon, everybody says hi. Right? So I had to learn that. And I had to learn, especially working as an educator in school, I had to train my students. When an adult passed, you need to say hello. You need to say good morning. That wasn't the way I was raised up north. It wasn't that I was rude, right? So I still think that there's different types of, respect. And I'm glad as a counselor that they took that out, right? But yes, it's your child, so you raise your child to be respectful the way that you know, right? So, that's what I tell mine, my parents are West Indian, so it doesn't matter. It's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, right? The children of the 2000s, you're lucky if you get a hello. You're lucky if you get eye contact, right? When I was raised, you had to look an adult in the face, right? So I don't make them do the time of day, but I don't care who the adult is, you still need to speak and say hello, right? Yes, ma'am.
Like with my daughter, she's with my mom, she'll say yes ma'am, because that's what my mom is old school, so my mom
Right.
told her no ma'am, yes ma'am. But if she's with me and my husband, we just make her say yes. We don't, yes sir, no sir, we don't do that. But my daughter knows when she's with an adult or anybody that's like older,
Of that age.
she knows
Yes.
to say yes ma'am.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. And it's okay. I mean, it's the same way. You say one thing when you're hanging with your girlfriends, and you'll say another thing when you're at work, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Yes, ma'am.
Well, and kids are so quick to pick that up because we had a play date with a kid from school, and my children were raised to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, because they were born even more south than we are now.
Mhm.
And that's custom. And you don't say yeah, you say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes or no sir. And they said that at home, and their little friend said, "Why are you saying ma'am?
Mhm.
It's just yes or yes mom." And they were so quick to pick up on that because in their household they don't say ma'am. And I actually corrected them in my household, and I said, "In my house, you will say yes ma'am or no ma'am. There is no yeah, yes, or okay."
Mhm. And you do. You have to say, and you know, I've had to say before to a family friend's child. I said, you know, for me, I need you to say yes or no. Yeah doesn't, you know, but I can say that. But I'm also very conscious of if I say something to your child, I'll tell you what I say, right? And maybe it comes from my job, you know, that if I talk to you in the counseling office, I'm gonna call you mother, call you mom. So it might be the same thing. So I always try to express what I say. But you never know. Sometimes even our thought process might be different than what that parent or that child knows. So you never know. So that's why I'm very conscious, you know, of different cultures and what how people raise their children, right? Again, coming as first generation, working in the school system, my mother's father's friends were always auntie and uncle. And so then you have kids that will say, well, my aunt brought me to school. And then when I go through the registration, I find out that this aunt is really Sally Mae that is also rides bus 22 that lives across the street that knows my mom. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's cultural, so you have to look and see and investigate, you know, and respect, you know. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it's like a code on the sidewalk. You know, it's not written.
No.
But you just walk on the right hand side when you're going up, and the other person walking the left hand side coming down.
Yeah, and sometimes it could be even the reverse. So for my auntie, my mother's real sister, when she first came to America, she got a job at Woody's, which you know doesn't even exist anymore. And so she came home very upset because people kept missing her. And she said, "I'm a grown woman. I'm married. I have 3 children. I'm not a miss." And I said, "Auntie, here in Maryland, when people are saying miss, they're trying to be respectful of you. They're not calling you little girl." But to her, in her culture, she felt disrespected because people were missing her. And she's like, "They can't see I'm grown." And I'm like, they're not even looking at your age. You know, they're just trying to respect you. So I'm glad that we're able to expect and respect other people's cultures and decide what things you want to use in your home and some things that you need to, that we evolve in because we know what is demanded of our kids once they get to school. All right, start behavior is a job to be started, continued, and completed. Children have to learn to regularly follow a routine. I know it seems like a lot, but trust me, at school, everybody walks in the line. At school, everybody puts their backpack up the minute they get in. You know, at school, everyone has a warm-up to do the minute they get in. Right? When I used to teach first grade, I remember the kids at the end of the year, "Where's the warm-up?" I'm like, "It's the last day of school. We need a warm-up." So they're so used to a routine that it's very difficult when you change something. One of the things I always have to catch myself on is I can't demand a routine of my child that I'm not doing. Now, some people do that, but I don't know how I can make them make their bed if mine is not made. Right? But some, you know, it depends. Everybody's different, but they see what you do. You know what I mean? Now, I brush my teeth every day, so I don't know what you're doing. But, you know, it's like they have to watch you do certain things, right? So it becomes a routine for you and for them. I think sometimes, though, we don't know the things that are demanded of our children once they get into the building, especially now with COVID. Because I have the difficult job of being in the entrance and having to tell mommies and daddies, "Bye, see you later." And so you can't walk them to class. You can't walk them to the room. You know, and I've illegally taken pictures just so that some parents can stop crying. I'm like, "I'll take a picture, I'll be right back." And show you that I have. So I understand, and I mean, it's not like I don't respect it. My first daycare experience was church with my kids, and I cried the whole service because I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe they're not with me. I can't see them. So it's not like I don't get it, you know. But you have to be able to establish routines and know what is. Sometimes parents are shocked when they realize how many jobs they really have when they get to school, you know. And even when I make parents say bye, they're like, oh my God, they know the number of their room. They know. I'm like, yes, they know where to go, you know. Especially now, January, right? After January, kind of like a light bulb comes on. So, start behaviors and routines. Maintaining routines. Once a routine is mastered, kids tend to do it automatically. Define the procedure and rehearse it. It's hard to say, I need you to clean your room, and you've never cleaned it with them. Right? Because that's when they put all the toys under the bed. It's clean, right? So, and from the counseling part of the brain that I am in, if I see that something is not the way I want it, I have to figure out why. Well, the reason they're going under the bed is because they don't have enough containers to put the extra Barbie dolls, so I need to throw some of them out, right? So it's good sometimes to observe and rehearse with them, right? What is you want them to do or how you want them to do it. And then they'll be able to do it more often, right? I thought the reason she was forgetting to brush her teeth was because it was upstairs, and I would say, you can't go back upstairs. So now I got one in the powder room, I got one upstairs, it's like no excuse. But she said the mask.
So what happens?
You don't want to know how old she is.
What happens when you practice what you want them to do, and you help them do it, and they do it at school, but they still don't do it?
They don't
And
do
I
it
thought, yeah.
good for you.
Right. So then she walks in, her coat is on the floor. I
Mhm.
don't leave my coat on the floor. I told her
Where do you
a
want her
million
to put
times.
it?
I want her to give it to me so I can hang it up.
But then you're still in it.
But she can't hang it up because it's high.
That's
She at
right.
school, she knows where to put her belongings.
Because they're down here. That's why I'm asking where you want to put it. Walmart has these cute hook things.
I had to
I'm
do
serious.
the hooks in our house.
All right. So if you want them to be more independent, it has to be where they can be independent. You're involving you, and you don't even remember the fact that you were on the phone with VG&E one day when she was trying to give you the code. You know what I'm saying? You might have had groceries another day, so you need to be out of it. If this is a rule that she needs to do, it needs to be all her, right, and not you. So then it's completely her job. And the only example I have for you is one adult to 20 kids. There's no way that a teacher can hang up everybody's coat, right? So that's the reason why they do it so well, right? A lot of times also, if you want them to buy into something, is just like I was saying with the hooks, you can get the ones that like a raw wood. I don't care, give her markers, let her color it, decorate it, whatever, but this is your hook, you know? So then she all thinks it's all hers, because the one that's at school has her name or her number. Especially now with COVID, we have to specifically know where every kid is, right? So we can know who's healthy, who's not, who's been exposed, and who's not, right? So yes, you showed her, but you gotta make it all the way through that you're not in. Okay? Don't worry that your children never listen to you. Worry that they're always watching you. And you know you said it to yourself, oh my gosh, I've turned into my mother, I've turned into my father, even though you never thought you would. What's that commercial? Is it real estate or something? and he says you've turned into your parents.
Car insurance.
Car insurance.
Yeah, so we have to watch that because they're always looking at us. 7, start behavior strategies. Positive reinforcement. So many times we're used to saying, you didn't put up your coat, you didn't brush your teeth. We do it from the negative. If we did the reverse and show them from the positive. You know, I like when you remember to put up your coat. I like when I see you use your toothbrush. I even got an electric toothbrush. Don't get me started. But, positive aspect can help. Thank you, ma'am. This is my intern, Miss Key Rose. She's from Loyola University, learned to be a counselor. Kitchen timers, docking stations, natural consequences, charting. Danielle, did we get charts? Did you send charts?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone who participated last time?
Okay. Counting, different version. You can use one or more tactic in various ways depending on the problem and what works for you. Not everyone is the same. You know, even as I look as an educator, I have some teachers that have one style and some teachers that have another style. I don't think one is perfect, right? It has to go with how you can disseminate. Positive reinforcements, 4 positives to 1 negative. So even when you want to say, I can't believe your room is nasty, and so you're like, I like the way the carpet has most of your toys put away.
That's stretching it there.
You know, so, and like you're catching yourself, and it's funny because sometimes I have to catch myself to remember to say something nice. You know what I mean? Because I really just want to say, really? And so, right, and so then you have to, so sometimes I have to catch myself, and then you wonder, you know, from a counseling point of view, have they heard anything positive today? You know, you're the number one for them. So as a parent, that you are giving them a compliment really can give it that extra level. But it's hard. I've worked all day. I just want to get over dinner and you a bath and. But sometimes that one compliment can make a difference. And I know you've seen it too, or heard it too, or seen with a JoJo message or a phone call. You know how many times I've called them like, hi, Miss So-and-so. There's no problem. I was calling because of such and such. Because you're ready, right? I was ready, and they called to tell me that she won the spelling bee. And I screamed, and the superintendent was I said, I'm so sorry. It's very unprofessional, but my daughter just won the spelling bee and they called me at work. She's like, So, you know, it's good to get that positive sometimes. Verbal reinforcement, adapt to each child. Parents that have more than one child, they all don't work the same way. You know, my younger one, the one at the club, you just have to look at her once. The one who doesn't brush your teeth talks all the time. Yep. Right? So it depends who it is, right? And then how you can discipline them. Assertiveness, relationship building. So, yes, I can be assertive, but I still can have a relationship with my child. I'm one that really believes I'm the adult, you're the child. You're not best friends. I have adults to be best friends. Some people think a close relationship with your child is fine, but I'm 50. There's no way I'm going to have what 12 and 13. You're just not going to have everything the same. Okay. Unexpected. You have to expect the unexpected. I think that's one of the fun things about being a parent. You know, like you know what's going to happen or how they're going to react to something, and then they do something totally different, and you just have to laugh at it. I can't believe that just happened. Trust in self and higher powers. A lot of times we question ourselves, but it's already done, you know, so we know for next time that we can do things a little differently and accept sometimes that we're wrong and then we're just going to do it another way. All right. So, types of reinforcements. You've got natural and you have artificial. So the natural things that don't cost anything. So, and this I also put on communication. You don't know how many times your children come to school and tell me about, Daddy told me such and such yesterday. You know, well, Mommy and I went such and such yesterday. I mean, it was to Walmart, but it was okay. You know, it doesn't have to be Disney World. You'll be surprised. Then you have your artificial, which is more or extra time on technology, which is funny because if they're on technology as much as they are now, you'd think they wouldn't want to be, but they still do. Toys, trips to different places, I'm not gonna lie, I live near Walmart, so anytime you go to Target, it's a big deal. So, that's just how they are. I don't know why, and I'm not gonna school them differently. Food, quote unquote, healthy. I mean, we have learned, there's a lot of advertisements and documentations that as a country, American children are obese. So we have to be very conscious of what types of things that we do for treats or how we're training them to eat. I've never gone to the extreme of like trail mix for Easter candy. Like I don't do that. Some people do, right? But I do try to at least let them see that there are different options, right? And I think coming as a first generation, my parents didn't make the things that other American children made. So I had to learn to assimilate. I think which is so hilarious to me now because school lunches, teriyaki chicken, pupusas, tacos. I never had all that. It was hamburger, hot dog, pizza. That's it. So we have all the rice. We never had rice as a meal in school. And now they do that, right? So I think our children are even a little more diverse as far as what their experiences as food than we were. Or I was, because I'm older than everybody. But I think it's important that when you're giving these experiences as far as food, it could just also be the restaurant experience. You have gone to the restaurant and looked over and been like, oh, I'm so glad those aren't my kids. But I always say that's because they might not have had the experience to go out before, right? And then even when they're home, right, you can still have that experience. There's no reason that they can't sit and eat and have a conversation at the table. It doesn't always have to be in front of the TV, right? So that they're learning how to communicate. And let's be honest, we have just come out of a pandemic. Our children have lost a lot of socialization. They just don't know how to communicate with anybody else because they've been alone or on the computer. All right, so technology is still there and adding to a collection. I don't see it as much, but you know, they used to do the Pokemon cards and then they would collect dolls and stuff. They don't do that as much as they used to, but even with the technology, I see they'll collect coins and stuff to show what rank they are on the computer. All right, praise. It can help the corporation in good behavior and modeling, which we went over. Genuine praise, and you said already, like you knew when I was being sarcastic. And I've been accused, and I'm like, no, I was serious about that. I really like such and such. So it's okay if they question me, because I can tell them, yeah, I was being honest. Start early and often. As far as even in the workplace, you know, I was like, oh, you know, hi, Miss So-and-so, that's such a nice line. Are you complimenting us? Like, they're used to it now. They're looking for you to look at them, to say something positive, right? So the more that you do it, the more that they will say it to you. You know, like I said, I'm usually the one that's standing in the front of the building when they come into Scotchtown, and I get a purpose. I got that light up mask, you know, like it changes the amount. I just want to see what they would do. And then, do you know your mask lights up? I said, no. And then like 2 or 3 days later, like, what happened to that mask? I said, you never know, we'll come back. You know, because you want to see if they're looking at you or what you're wearing. And the same thing when I say to them, and they'll come, did you notice I have a coat? Oh, it's so nice. I don't even know who that person was, but I just, oh, that's a beautiful coat. I love it. So the more that you model, the more that they will model with you. Simple requests, your voice tone. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a mic. I have a very loud voice. And so I get annoyed when my girls are loud and I have to remind because they're like their mother, right? So if it is that you need to clarify your tone, I think when I'm not loud, they know it's really serious. To minimize spontaneous requests. So yeah, if you're always telling your daughter to put their jacket up, well, then you have to say, you know, it's summertime now. You don't have a coat in there. You know, so you're not going to have to put that up. But You might have to hook your raincoat for the spring, or you might have to hook your umbrella. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay to explain why the routine has changed, why they don't have to do something. Make requests clear, not a question. My mother tells me that when she went to school in England, she remembers a German nurse, and the head mistress said, "Nurse, would you like to take the patient's temperature?" And she said, "No, I would not." And so everybody said, they knew that really she was saying, "Take the lady's temperature," right? But in a polite way, right? So there are times where people ask you a question when they're really not asking a question, they're telling you, right? So it's the same thing. You are the adult, you are the person that is training your child for their future, so it's not a question, right? And I say, the reason why I'm telling you to do this is because I need you to learn this to be safe, you know? I need you to know this for your future. So it's definitely not a question. Yes, especially as they get older, you can give them options, but that is not something that's for a pre-K, kindergarten, or second grader, right? So my two are now in middle school. So yeah, I'll say, when is it? I say, when is it that you think you're getting off the phone? And she said, "Well, I think I'm getting off at 9:30. Well, no, I think that's not going to work. And so I think it's going to be 9. So in her head, she thinks that she's negotiating with me. But she's also 13. Last week was 13. 13. So that's a different age. You know what I mean? I'm not asking a 5-year-old, would you like to take off your coat? Get your coat off. It's time for work. Okay. Teach them how to do what you're asking and to be independent. And we kind of talked about that as far as a teacher that's got 25, got to teach everyone, and then they should be able to do it on their own. Timers. I tried today to get you some other examples of timers, because timers themselves have changed. The oil and water is the ones that I've purchased now lately. I've seen the sand ones in Marshalls, all of a sudden they're there. My only issue is some of the ones with the sand are glass. So even if they're not meaning to, if it falls or breaks, that would be an issue. Of course, you can always use your digital timers, the one on your microwave, the one on your stove, on your phone, right? I would not stop using your analog clock. They have to learn to tell time, right? So that lets them even know what a clock is. So, I would say, okay, the big hand is now on the 6. When the big hand gets to the 7, this needs to be done, right? So I think it helps them to start to understand that circle thing has a purpose, right? Which is more than just looking nice up there. So when you can use the analog clock, I would use that as well, right? But it has to be a reasonable time of doing something. And maybe you need to watch, because it takes me, 2 seconds to tie my laces. It takes them 5 or 6, right? So I think sometimes you need to watch and see how long it takes them to do a certain thing, and then decide that this is the time you're going to have from now on. Okay, multi-purposes, bedtime, bath time, chores. Again, chores, it would depend what the chore is, right? Washing the dishes and taking the trash out have 2 different times. Cleaning up, getting dressed. Getting up is a difference from getting up and getting dressed, right? And every household is different. Mine bathe at night. Some people like theirs to bathe in the morning. I have to be at work at 7:15. And the majority of my school population is already in my parking lot at 7:15. So I have to try to get there before 7:15, which is very hard because my daughter also catches the bus for 7:15. So it's like a lot going on at the same time. So you decide what works for you. Some people say, oh, if my kid doesn't take a bath in the morning, they'll never wake up. Getting dressed, homework, same thing with the homework. And please understand could not complete it, I couldn't get through to them, and let it go. You're not the teacher. So it's not supposed to be a chore, right? The purpose of homework is to practice what the educator has already taught. And I tell students all the time, whatever you do on your assignment is a grade of that teacher. If I taught it the right way, it's going to come back right. If I did not teach it correctly or you didn't understand it, then that shows me what I need to do for the next day. So that's what homework is for, right? So if there's ever an issue that is taking too long, let it go, write a note, call, leave a message, be done. And sometimes, you get messages back, oh, I sent home the wrong paper. Oh, I told them they didn't have to do that until tomorrow. I will review it again the next day. Sometimes you'll be surprised. It's not always your child's fault, right? And then sometimes it's totally different. I hear stuff about new math. My mother came from a British system. She taught me quarter pass, half pass. I went to school and was told that absolutely not. They didn't do that, right? So sometimes even when we're trying to help, we don't, I have middle schoolers now. I say, okay, you do it, I do it. And if we get different answers, we'll figure it out. And 9 times out of 10, mine is wrong, especially with math. And then she will correct mine and hers. But that's okay, I don't always try to show them how I do it. Okay, it said others. Are there any other things that you think a timer could work for that I could have missed? Nothing you would use a timer for? Huh?
Brushing their teeth.
Brushing their teeth. And then some of them have, I didn't even got to have the little light on it. No, it didn't work. But you could.
Use technology, using their technological devices. I mean, I put a timer on those.
Yes, and I like my cousin does that. She does. There's a commercial for that too, isn't it? Comcast or something where they turn off the internet for the whole house, and then the husband gets mad. Like some people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I told you, the oldest one 9 o'clock anyway. So it's rare that she's still on it, but yes, you can do that with your TV. Some people do with their TV that their TV just naturally shuts off.
Well, because they're on computers all day long at school, so if they come home and they're on their tablet, it's like you got 1 hour. It's 30 o'clock. You have until 4. That's it. Because you've already been on a computer all day long.
Yeah. And so, are they doing the homework before or after?
They do the homework right when they get home.
Right. Can get it done.
Yep. Right when they first come home, their homework gets done, and then they get their tablet time.
Okay. And then for some, they do the homework at daycare. So when they come in, right, sometimes they're doing the tablet before dinner, right? Or sometimes they're doing the tablet after dinner. Everybody's house, can be different. You don't even want to know. I was allowed to watch TV Friday and Saturday. That's it. And I used to beg someone to drop me back home so I can see Miami Vice. Okay? Now, it's a totally different system. And I told them, if you didn't catch that show, you had to wait till the rerun.
Yeah.
Now they just press rewind. See, it's all that instant gratification. I was like, you got it good. Okay, docking system. Definitely more with the older ones, but it's when you're taking away. Yes, you cleaned your room, but you didn't take all of your clothes and put them in the dirty hamper, right? So I put on here and look for it specifically because that's also a new thing is like kids are getting credit cards, right? That they're able to purchase different things and you're like, what? They don't need it. But some of the games and things that they do on the computer need a certain, they don't want cash and you don't want them having your card, right? So if you have $20 that are on a card, they're able to budget that if they're going to use, $5 on it for one game or $5 for another. Okay? So definitely look at how old the child is to understand what money is, and then to understand when you're taking away what that is. Younger kids definitely do well with the marbles, color cards, and stickers. Stickers you can find at the dollar store. Marbles you can find at the dollar store. You can do cotton balls. For one, we talked about water bottle lids. That the child was having issues with water. So as many water bottle lids were in the jar till it came to the top, and then they were able to get whatever the prize was, right? And that was the incentive to let them have more water. Okay, natural consequences. I have a little boy with his jacket over his head. Why? He didn't wear the jacket that had a hood or take the umbrella, even though his parents told him to. Sometimes you just have to have the experience so that you learn the consequence. With the food, I put up the food plate. I grew up in a time where we had the triangle. Now it's a circle. But still the same thing. I think it's an awesome way to show what types of foods you're eating, right? And how much you're eating as a balanced meal, okay? At school, an apple or juice. They don't get both. You get a fruit or you get a juice, right? Same thing with the starches, right? So it's helping them to learn to be balanced. Even though they just want fries, and I still remember to this day, it was, who's before Bush? Clinton, who said ketchup was a vegetable. All right, also I have here, newscaster. We don't need to argue over if you're wearing a coat or not. What does it say the weather's going to be for tomorrow? This is a resource that they have that they can use and learn from, right? So, like today, Mommy, you're really going to make me go to the bus stop? It's 17 degrees. Wear two coats. Hi. So, but at least they're, more knowledgeable of the weather. Charting. So, you have the charts. Did anyone get to use a chart? Yes? How'd it go?
So we started, we get it in the mail this weekend, so we started this week, so we started to use it to getting up in the morning and getting ready for school.
So it was two things.
Yes.
Okay. So she said getting up, get ready. I asked if it's two. I usually suggest no more than 3 things that you chart at a time. Who's doing the sticker? You or?
They choose the color, so we try to get it for them if they can, and they open it for them.
Okay, so it can come to a part where they've already finished doing it and they can put the sticker on. Because remember, you want independence. They want them to rate themselves. And sometimes you'll be surprised. They're harder on themselves than you. I'm just giving myself half a sticker because I didn't really do that right. You know what I mean? So you want them to get to that part. So even the sticker chart should not be on the high part of the fridge, but someplace where they can. Awesome. Okay, so charting, we said, is something that could be used for both you and your child. Make sure that it's not too many. And once you do and master the getting up and get ready, right? So then it could be leaving on time for the bus, right? And now, because it's cold, I've started to have them start the car. Mine are middle school, right? So it's different things, and that's an incentive. If you've done what you supposed to do, then you can do this. I don't know how my start is going to be, but all right, so counting. So I kind of referenced that, and I said you're not going to count and not have a command after. You're not going to do the command and then count, because then you're saying, go get the milk. 1, 2. You're giving them the time to get the milk, right? If they're playing on the phone or watching TV, 1, 2, that's like, hello, I'm here, I need something. I want you to do something. So by the time I get to 3, you should be looking at me, right? And then you're giving the command, I need you to get the milk. But for me, I have to say, from the fridge, on the second shelf, behind the grape juice. I don't know about you, but that's how I have to do it. All right, so making sure that you're counting before you give the direction, and then once you give the direction, especially as an educator, a lot of times we ask, what is it I need you to do? You want me to get the milk? Okay. Because sometimes they hear milk and then bring you the cereal, because milk and cereal go together. So it's a good thing sometimes to ask. All right. I can't even do this one. Increasing their attention span. I really wanted you to realize how much is going on when you have the teachers tell you, oh, they're not paying attention. But, it's 27 in the room, and Tommy's picking his nose, and Johnny's got his shoe off, and, somebody else is under the table, and she's still reading a book. Right now, a lot of times I've said to parents, they've just come off of COVID, right? Where all they're used to doing is seeing a screen. A lot of times if they've, pinned, if they pinned on the teacher, they don't even see the rest of the class. So this is a lot of distraction for them to have at one time. And that's something that we need to also be conscious of. So that was a slide, and I love it. It's called Distraction News. It comes from Cash Files. But if you Google it, she's saying the news, but she has all these distractions going on. That's the same thing that happens a lot of times for your kids. So they need to learn to focus, right? Okay, building relationships. We talked about how much they enjoy the simple things that you do with them, right? Might not be that simple or easy for you because you were really tired and you really wanted to do something else, but some things that they don't forget. Okay, so any visual you can give me for some of these things? Timer, what do you think of? Okay, clock. You were listening to me. Thank you. The clock. The analog clock, right? Your phone, right? Okay. Reward. What are some rewards we can give? Special time, hugs. Aww. And that's free. Okay, all right. Natural consequence.
You're behind the sweat because you've got your hood.
Okay, wet because your hood, yes. Huh? Time out is a natural consequence? No, the natural consequence would be leaving their bike outside in the hot sun and the tires went flat, even though you told them to bring it in. That was a natural consequence. Now they can't ride it, and they need you to pump it back up, but that's your punishment. Like, you didn't have to give the punishment. You see what I'm saying? Like, sneaking and eating a whole sleeve of Oreos, and then you have a tummy ache. I bet you won't do that again. You know what I mean? So sometimes those are natural consequences, even though you knew that was going to happen, right? Yes.
Like I said earlier, my daughter, for instance, is so happy when I hug her.
Right.
And she does everything. Mom, are you not going to give me a hug?
Yeah.
Doing that thing, then I'll do that. But like I said, no hug. Just do it.
Right, because you weren't doing. Mm-hmm.
And she was going to do it. Sometimes she does it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see, I talk a lot, so when I don't talk, that's a terrible punishment. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Because they're so used to hearing, mommy. So, it depends. So, the counting, docking station, what do we say that is? Because I always think about docking a boat, but that's not what it means. So the docking station is taking stuff away, yes, that they want. So it could be time on the computer, right? And the counting, what to remember? And the command. Awesome. You won't get A's.
But the counting, to me, doesn't, it doesn't always, I have to repeat it, like 10 times. Like I'm the kind of parent, Amina. It's like, I'm like, I don't want to yell, like, he's the kind, patient person, and I'm like, Amina. Or if I, turn off the TV because it's time for that. Nope, I have to say it like 10 times for her to
So two things.
do it.
One is either when you're counting, they're coming to you. I'm old school, so I really don't like to go to them. But then if I really have to say something, you see what I'm saying? You're calling their name, but they're not hearing anything else. And you have Amin and I have Samina. Right? So even was a natural consequence for me in the store. I was calling Mina. And then this man started calling Mina. And maybe he was helping, but I didn't know him. And so I said to her, that's the last time I'm calling your name in a store. So if you're not with me or near where I need to be, you might not be with me, right? And so the other one will, look or remember, she will, but it was so scary to me. And I told them when we got in the car, I didn't know who that man was, That's one of the reasons if you look at, if we ever go on a trip again, we don't put the kids' names anymore. We always put the school, right? Because we don't want a stranger, to call your name, right? Same thing with how we label kids, you know, you put their name, we don't do that anymore, right? So it's the same thing. So yes, when you're counting, it's that I have something important to tell you, right? And that is gonna come with a consequence. But if you're just calling her name, you don't know. And I don't know how much we do this now, but I know it was always your nickname, except when you're in trouble, and then you had your full government name, first, middle, and last. You know, people did that. So that's the same thing. So if Amina is used for good, when it's you know, I like the way you color this paper, and Amina, I need you to move this paper. You see what I'm saying? So to me, if you counted first and then said it, she knew that that was going to be for a command, and see if it works, right? And then you said, you know, I had to call your name 4 times, huh?
And then also, like, for a consequence, like, you said if she's watching TV and you're calling her, the next time, tell her she can't watch TV. Like, take some TV time away if she didn't hear you. Like, I know I do that to my daughter. If I'm calling her and she doesn't answer me, but she's in her phone, okay, since you didn't hear me the first 3 times I called you, no phone time. I take her phone.
You can have it, yeah.
So,
And now they got the headphones on.
Yes.
that's true.
You're on the devil.
I can't stand those. You know, so then I don't know. And she's like, it was off. I'm like, I don't know if it's off or on. You know, so sometimes I'm talking about her and she hears me, then sometimes I talk and she doesn't hear me. You know, you're not sure. So you definitely, you know, kind of say, so when I'm driving, a lot of times I'll hit the back seat. And they'll say, Mom, I'm not on the phone. But see, I never know. And you're driving. So I hate to say, you know, I'm getting ready to tell you something. All right. So I have my contact information here for myself and my parent liaison from Scotchtown. So I am at Scotchtown Hills Elementary. I'm the counselor, the professional school counselor there. Miss Allen is the assistant director, and that's the one that has been sending you your mail and that you register with. I even have Joe on here. Joe's retired, but we also have our president. Is she here? Miss Elda's here. That's our president of our organization. I was teaching, I was like, we have a female president? All right, so I had a game about Valentine's Day. Can't do it. But you know, we're getting close to time, so we're doing good. And then I said, we're going to do would you rather, left or right. Are you ready? Because you've been sitting too long. Okay, so Kemi, can you help me with the, okay. So it's on my phone. Because I found it and I thought it was so cool, but PG won't let you get Instagram. I can't get it like while I'm at work. It's like, but I can YouTube. All right, so would you rather this or that? So, you know what? It was, this is blue. Oh my goodness. You know I'm too old. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm done. So, okay, first of all, say I'll be looking. Okay, everybody stand up because you can go left or right. You're gonna tell me what you like. So I have a prize for all of our rathers. So once you go over there, I have something that represents some of those things. I did not do them all truly for adults, but things that you can use with your children that have to do with that subject. And like I said, 30 years, I'm trying to clean out. So I have a lot of stuff. So the first one is, would you rather a dare or a truth? If you'd rather be in a dare, right here. Okay, find a dare thing, or you'd rather just get a truth. You need to get something from over there. Go get a treat. Let's go. Come back, and then you go back to the seat. Okay, so I did for the truth or dare a lot of question books that had questions in them. I even had like a.
The item from the first one or down here?
Yeah, for the first one. All right. I got one person who's ready for question number 2. Okay, put it in your chair because you're going to get another prize. I told you, I got like 30 years. You got to roll. All right, ready? Okay, find it. Okay, they're coming up front. No problem.
It helps us to know that they were here. It helps us to know they were here if they just put their name in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I.
That's fine. Down here.
Okay, it's all the way down in the front.
That's for another question. This is for another question, not yet. Yep, not yet. We'll get to those in just a second.
Just one at a time. Just the first one up front.
Yep. So we have 3 books here to choose from.
Yep.
So we're on question number 1, which is down here. These prizes are for another question. So we'll get to those in just a minute.
All right.
All right, number 2.
Okay. Come get a chair right here. Thank you. Man, can't be so close to the table. Okay, good. No, but right here up front is good. All right, here we go. Number 2. Chocolate lollipops. Chocolate over here. Lollipops over there.
One thing, whoever gets here first.
Let's roll.
Whoever gets here first.
Chocolate and lollipops.
There you go.
All right.
That's it for that one.
She was like, I don't want either. You ready for number 3? Go ahead. All right. Ready? Okay, we get the hang of this. All right, here we go. Orange juice, soda. Orange juice, soda.
Here we go, right there.
Do it for me, Eddie. Son is your life.
All right. You get a chair up here. Stay up here so we do the next one. Okay. All right, ready? Okay. We good?
Yep.
All right. Singing, dancing. Singing, dancing.
Oh my God.
So we have a lot of books with music. Microphone. With that microphone, it's also good when they're reading. Like, you know? It's just a plain one. All right, you ready? You ready? Okay, we're talking about books for the next one.
You have to return to your seat.
Okay, we ready? All right, we got some. Okay, so the comedy, so funny books over here, mysteries and drama on this side. Funny books, mysteries. We good? All right, good. Oh, and look how it's getting clean. I'm so happy. I said I don't want to take anything home. All right. All right, next. This is food. Ready? Well, not real food. All right. Burger, pizza. Burger, pizza.
All right.
That was quick. They're gone. That's because some people aren't moving over. They're a little too close over there. All right. Ready? Okay, pets.
Oh, yep.
Ready for the pets? All right. Cats, dogs. Cats, dogs. And there's a lot of pet stuff. Cats, dogs. Oh, ice pack. Okay, yeah. We good? Did you get anything? Okay. All right, I want to make sure. Everybody's leaving with something. Okay. Not just the food. You're going to get prizes too. Okay. All right, ready? I said this reminded me of the Super Bowl. All right, so I got East Coast, West Coast. East Coast, West Coast. questions about, traveling, different things like that you could use? Okay. We good? Oh, cause you want East Coast? You're West Coast.
I just said, are you ready? Listen.
Oh.
I just repeat what you just said.
Oh, I thought you said East Coast. All right. So, you can already know mine just looking at me. But silver, gold. Silver, gold.
Oro. There's lots of little names back if you want to. One of one. One of them. Ebony, you hold it the line up a second. Boys and girls, can you go back to the lineup for me for just a second?
All right. We're playing a game.
We don't play.
All right, ready? We gotta hurry up. Okay, so wizard, ninja. Wizard, ninja. Which do you like best? Okay. It's 8 o'clock. All right. We good? You can do white elephant afterwards. That's where you take somebody else's stuff. But you can trade later. All right, ready? Next one. Sneakers. What did we say the other one? Heels?
Oh.
Sneaker, high tops. Sneakers, high tops. That's what I did at school. We only got 4 more. I wouldn't even have known if my husband wasn't a basketball player. I wouldn't have known. All right. Huh? No, that's why I did high top. Trying to be unisex. Politically correct. All right, ready?